in the context of the trade war that is seemingly exploding around us, where do you see the risks to some of the initiatives that you've described, and where do you think there are potential challenges to the programs you've outlined? And are there opportunities that you see arising out of this situation?
As I mentioned earlier, for Thailand, today is the time for reform, and we have put in place Thailand 4.0 as our strategic roadmap. And you know that Thailand, like many of our friends, virtually all in ASEAN, we depend very much on export. Thailand is 60-70% easily of GDP. So the potential trade war, I believe, is a concern of everyone, including Thailand. But I think what we are doing is try to work together with our friends, at least in the region, and given ASEAN's potential, then I think the more we can make ourselves stronger together, then the better we can manage the potential impact of a trade war. But certainly I hope that it will be resolved in a good way.
Well, I think we all share your optimism on that. Let's turn for a moment to the Eastern Economic Corridor, which obviously has been such an important part of your work. Tell us a little bit about how you evaluate the progress that you've seen so far in that initiative.
Yes. I think we are doing well with respect to major projects being on track. I believe I was here 2 years ago at this summit, and the EEC just got started. And since then, we have told businesses, investors, local and international, what we would be doing the next few years. And at this stage, we are pretty much on track with everything. The cornerstone projects, the infrastructures, of course, the high-speed train, the airport, the maintenance, repair, and overhaul hub, they're all on schedule. The high-speed train, the TOR is out, and we have received pretty good response. About 31 companies have indicated their interest in the projects by having obtained the TOR for the project. So in that sense, I think we are moving forward. But also importantly, the EEC Act. Now, people were waiting for that, investors, and they wanted to see if this groundbreaking act for Thailand would become a reality. Now, today it is a reality, so I think that's another thing that is working well for the EEC in terms of generating confidence on the part of the business community, local and international.
Can the EEC be part of Belt and Road?
I believe the EEC can definitely connect with other strategies that countries are pursuing. Belt and Road, of course, is one. China to our north, and they're looking south, at least in one direction, and that means ASEAN. Thailand, as you know, is situated on mainland. So we're close to that, and the EEC has been actually designed taking into consideration all these initiatives. Same with Japan to our east. The desire to link the connectivity, to create connectivity and promote activities in the Pacific region and the Indo-China region. I think that also fits very well with what we have planned for the EEC. So it's actually, you can see the north-south, east-west corridor emerging, and ASEAN as a whole, I think, stands to benefit.
How important would you say Chinese foreign direct investment will be for the EEC itself?
I think that will be important, but also investments from other countries will be important, because we recognize that interests vary, expertise varies. So we have a plan. We know how to get there. so we know what we are looking for. In that sense, we work with all countries that are interested in the EEC.
Yeah. Just one more question on China, and then we can move on. I think it is obvious to all of us that the questions have been raised recently, certainly among some other ASEAN countries, about the trade-offs that come with investment from China, particularly in Belt and Road projects. And some have raised questions about the risks that come along with that. Do you have any of those concerns?
For Thailand, I think what the approach that we're using is that we look for the optimum solution. Now, different countries have different approaches. China is one thing, Japan, and so on. There are certain rules, I might call that we go by. For example, financial discipline, in terms of the amount of money, investment that would be required for these mega projects, trains and so on, that we connect, for example, with China and potentially along other direction as well. Now, we have the guidelines of what we would follow in terms of financial discipline for the country, and we carefully structure the financial arrangements that would be required for these projects. So those would be things that we look for when we pursue these projects, and that we make sure that they are not sidetracked, so to speak, by any issues.
Okay. Shifting gears to a topic that I know is uppermost also on the minds of many of the folks in this room, and that is the possibility or the prospect of elections in the coming year. What impact do you think the return of elections will have on Thailand and in the Thai economy?
Interesting question. Well, obviously, we cannot predict the outcome, but I think there are certain things that we can see unfolding. Well, first of all, I think Thai people are expecting stability to continue. So no matter what government comes in, that would be expected of that government from the Thai people, that we have stability that we have been enjoying the past few years, and that business can continue, no disruptions. I think that's the main expectation, and also expectations on reform. We are starting on reform, not an easy task, as you know, anywhere, but I think people after the election will expect that to continue. So the outcome, so on, of the elections, I think will depend on these expectations of the people.
Okay. In terms of reforms, can you give us some sense of what is next? I mean, what are some of the big reforms that you're looking at going down the line?
On the business side, of course, I've mentioned that we have started, for example, Industry 4.0 transformation. I would expect that to intensify. There are new industries that we are working on, and those that will be looking to initiate reform and to launch new activities. That's one thing. On the government side, very important, we would also like to see reform continue and in fact accelerate. So those are the two major thrusts of reform that we would like to see. That, of course, the ease of doing business closely related to both thrusts.
Does that mean you will raise FDI curbs, FDI limits?
We hope so.